Welcome to the T2 Hubcast. Join Martin, Dave, Spencer and guests as they discuss all things personal and professional development. The T2 Hubcast, brought to you by the People Performance People.
So welcome to another T2 Hubcast with me, Dave Pendleton. Sounds a little strange to me in saying just me, Dave Pendleton, because usually it's Martin Johnson and Dave Pendleton. However, I'm just going to record this one on my own today. I want to talk to you about customer service, really, and it's a link on, it's a follow-on from a podcast that Martin and I published just a few days ago, maybe a week ago or so, on customer service culture. I guess there's a wider piece, customer service culture, and the 6 elements that need to be in place for an organisation or a business to be able to deliver really world-class customer service. So just as a quick reminder, what I will do is I'll just walk you through those 6 elements, and then I'll break the first one down, which is listen, and that'll be the theme for this podcast. And there'll be a series of other podcasts later on, which I'll publish over the coming week or 10 days or so, where I'll break each element of culture down for you just a little further. So listen and record was one of the really key elements of customer service culture. Then, of course, there was analyze, empower, agility, speed, and improvement. Now, I guess those seem to have a sequential order, but, customers can be strange things, and systems and process can sort of hold things back a little bit. So I guess what I'm saying is, as long as all of those things are in place at the right time, then we shouldn't be going too far wrong. So let's break down listening just a little more. So an awful lot of services delivered by people, mostly over the telephone, mostly in contact centres and so forth. And as we know, and I guess I'm appealing to all those people who lead and manage in call centres, there are very few people out there who come out of education, maybe even come through further education, university and so forth, who actually think to themselves, do you know what, I think I'm going to go and work in a call centre. It's just one of those things that lots of people find themselves doing without any kind of career ambition to do so. And unfortunately, from my experience of working in and around call centres quite a lot, is that there will be an induction process where people are taught systems, they're taught to type notes into certain boxes, they're taught certain greetings, and I guess they're trained on the part of the process of which they carry out that is supposed to deliver service. I suppose very infrequently are customer service handlers, shall we say, considered for the qualities, the base human qualities that they actually possess. Now, I think there's something really quite unique in this. In very simple terms, the very best customer service handlers for me are the ones who can show the greatest level of human empathy. Now, when I say human empathy, I just very basically mean that when one human has genuine regard for another human's feelings. Quite frequently, and this is again from experience of listening to hundreds and hundreds of hours of recorded customer service calls where a customer has gone up the wall because a service or a product hasn't met their needs or whatever it might be, and the customer service agent isn't sure how to handle that. Maybe he's nervous, maybe puts them on the back foot. So the very best thing they can do is relate back to a system or a process to try and process the customer's request, order, or solve or fix the problem. Now, of course, it may well fix the problem for the customer, but has it been done the very best that it can be done? And would we ever suggest that's the world-class way of handling a customer? Well, of course we wouldn't. So I guess I'm just going to clarify what I mean by base human empathy. So when a customer calls in and they're frustrated, because, let's face it, we've mentioned this a few times, customers only ever get in touch when something's gone wrong and they are feeling unhappy, dissatisfied, or emotionally elevated. Cheesed off to you and I. They very rarely, or if ever, actually get in touch to say things have gone well, that was great, thanks for the service. So when we're in contact with a customer who's feeling emotionally elevated or let down or whatever, the very first thing for me, the customer service handler at the very front line should do is apologise. Now, when we're talking about apologies, we're not talking about apologising for what's gone wrong, where this customer's been let down. We're very simply talking about how this situation has made the customer feel. Now, this is particularly important when dealing with emotionally elevated customers. And what we must allow them to do is we must allow them to speak their mind. We must allow them to give us the whole situation and set the scene. And at the end of that, then the apology comes. Now, I guess this is the base human trait. All people can be told and trained to apologise, but it has to be natural. And when it's natural, it has a much greater effect on the customer. So to be able to effectively listen to a customer, we need to get the customer in the right frame of mind. So starting off with some base human empathy. I apologise for how this has made you feel. Let's see what we can do about it. I'm going to do my absolute best to put this right. So the first thing we need to do, apart from apologise, is the next part, which is the listening part, I suppose. And again, this is a piece of work that I've done with salespeople many, many times, because we work on a base old saying around this topic, that when we're dealing with any type of customer or human or prospect or whatever else, the very base thing that we need to do is we need to listen with the ability to understand and not listen with the intent to reply. Now, of course, the two are very, very different. Salespeople and customer service people get drawn into this situation where they've heard it before. So instead of allowing the customer to express themselves fully, they jump in with an answer that they think is the right one, or they think is the one that's going to appease the customer. And you know what? Sometimes it will, and sometimes it won't. So the ability to allow a customer to talk and the customer service handler to intently listen and understand exactly what's going on with this customer in this situation, in this scenario, is a really, really key part. And absolutely, I stand by my opening statement. This is a very base human trait. If we have the ability and we can demonstrate really, really effective listening, basically what we will do is the customer service handler will remove many, many more problems that may lay ahead if we don't listen. Incorrect contact details, incorrect details about the situation and circumstance as to how the customer is feeling aggrieved. We might start to plan solutions to a problem that actually is only partially there or is not there at all. It keeps processes, when we need to stick to processes, it keeps them much more efficient and effective, because recording information, clicking the right buttons, passing this on to the right person, if that's required, becomes much more straightforward and much more accurate. So another point is much higher levels of accuracy. And of course, when we as a customer or when we as a human feel as though another human has listened to us, understood exactly what we're saying, exactly what our problem is, and articulated exactly how they intend to fix this, of course, it makes us feel much more valued. And if we want customers to return to us, customers don't mind having problems. It's kind of a nature of the beast. What they don't like is when these problems aren't corrected, or corrected in a way that doesn't make the customer feel valued. So feeling valued at the end of whatever process it might well be that the customer service handler has to get into is at the center of world-class customer service and the header of listening in customer service culture. So nice and short, pretty much under 10 minutes there. Hopefully you've got something from that. So I guess I urge you to just really consider, if you run teams in contact centers or a contact center itself, or indeed have service handlers within your environment, I urge you just to have a think about the types of humans that you've got. Do they have the ability to demonstrate absolute human empathy every time when they engage with a customer who is feeling a little cheesed off or emotionally elevated? Do they demonstrate that they actually care and they want to solve this person's problems, and they actually leave this customer with a sense of value. Okay, so my name's Dave. Thanks ever so much for listening, and I'll see you again on another T2 Hubcast.